All right, we are back. Now, I know I've said that at least twice now, but I promise you it's for real this time. So we're gonna be releasing at least a vlog style video to include lifestyle, fitness, shooting, what I'm training for, what I do for a job, what kind of lifestyle changes have happened. I mean, I have 2 twin girls now. So today, you're gonna be following along on the full day of today. That was weird I said it like that, but anyways, let's get it. Well, I'm going to introduce you to the newest members of the family real fast. It's 3 in the morning, and we're getting ready to feed again. Over here, we've got Miss Addison, or who I'm nicknaming and calling Andy. And over here, we got Berkeley, or who I've nicknamed and calling Miss Burke. Andy, Burke. Yes, I have confused them a couple times already. I remember people saying, "Oh, congratulations, you're pregnant. It's gonna be the hardest thing you've done in your life." Those people had 1 kid. I now want to go back to them and say, congratulations. I think 1 kid would be pretty easy. Not pretty easy, but it'd be easier. I've always liked these vlog style videos. They were really easy to fit into my life. And so that's what we're gonna try and continue to going forward. It's just kind of like, here's a organic snapshot of the day. Like, no frills, no changes, all the poop. But here is my day as it is. So obviously we're feeding right now. It's like 3. We feed every 3 hours. So for you CrossFitters like myself, the workout is feed every 3 hours on the hour and rest the time remaining. So usually takes us like, I don't know, 45 to 50 minutes to feed. By the time you warm up and cool down for it, it's like an hour. So essentially you have a 2-hour rest or 2-hour break between every feeding session. The first time I said feed, I thought it sounded kind of weird. Like, oh, we're having a feed. Sounds like you're eating somebody. But you get used to saying it like that over time, I guess. But you get 2-hour break in between, and you kind of forget. Like, every 2 hours, you only have 2 hours to get something done is not that much time. 2 hours is gone before you know it, and then you're back up here shoving a nipple or a bottle into a newborn's mouth. Anyways, but I'll finish up this, go back to bed for 2 hours, and then I'll be up at 5 to do the last kind of morning feeding pretty much. And then we'll jump into the rest of our day. Tired, but ready. Got done with the 5 a.m. and I usually don't go back to sleep. Usually I stay up, get some work done on the computer, but we'll have breakfast first, of course. So for breakfast, we've got coffee, of course, necessity. Egg puffs, which I'm sure we'll do a video on them in the future, but we make these probably every 2 weeks. It's eggs, cottage cheese, sausage, ground beef. They're really easy to like make for the morning. Just warm them up and then eat them, and not to think about it. And of course, apple water. To clarify, I am not having Oreo minis and Chips Ahoy for breakfast. That's just my camera stand, considering this little thing I bought for the camera isn't tall enough, so that's what I'm using to gain some height. be doing our first session of the day. We usually do just a workout session kind of in the morning, or it's at night, kind of depends on when I can fit it in between feedings and work. But today we are gonna be doing two workouts and then some strength at the end. Haven't written the strength up yet, but we're gonna talk about the workouts right now first off. So the first one we're gonna be doing is a grit, a morning motto piece, right? It's a pretty popular one that I posted probably a couple weeks back that went over really well. Everyone kind of loved it. It's really simple. It allows you to go as hard or as not as hard as you want, and it always hurts. So when I do these workouts, I usually write kind of an idea of them up, and then I test them, and usually I find out, wow, that was too hard, too easy, just right, you know, Goldilocks and Three Bears. Anyways, I've already done this one. I got a previous time of 13 minutes and 30 seconds, and it is gonna be 4-time, 100 calorie or 80 calorie for the females, bike erg, 50 burpee box jump overs at 24 or 20 inches box facing, and then finally 100 or 80 calorie bike erg at the end. Super simple, bike, burpee, bike. Gotta love that combo. So last time I did it was 13:30. I tested it out. Today I'd like to change it up a little bit and try to go a little bit harder on the second bike and try to go sub 13. That's the goal today. And then after we get done with this piece, we'll rest a little bit and we're gonna knock out a sandbag focused workout. I have not done this one yet, so it's gonna be a test today to kind of see if it's good, bad, or if I need to change it. We're gonna be doing 15, 12, 9, 6 of sandbag cleans over a yoke. The height will probably be like 52 inches. And then a 200-meter run in between each of those sandbag clean sets and also at the end. I do have it written that I'm gonna run the 200-meter with a 100-pound sandbag, probably a longer one. And then technically for the sandbag cleans, we're gonna try and go up in weight. So we're gonna try and go, the 15 is a moderate weight, the 12 and 9 are the 15 is a lightweight, 12 and 9 are moderate, and the 6 is gonna be heavy. So we're gonna test that one out. We'll talk about it at the end if I need to make any changes, and we'll get some strength in. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our session. All right, discussion on how we're gonna break this up. So, before I do a workout, I usually like to sit down and figure out, okay, if you've ever worked out with me or worked out in the barn with me or been around me, I like to write down splits for every movement so I can kind of track it. I'll put it on a whiteboard kind of in front of me. That way I know, hey, I'm falling behind or I'm too far ahead and I might burn out, whatever the case may be. So, 100 cal bike erg, right? If I want to go sub 13 minutes, 100 cal bike erg, I could probably do the first 100 cals in 4:30. So 4 minutes and 30 seconds, that's like 1,400 cal per hour pace, so it's definitely doable. And then you got 50 burpees. And if you come back and you do the 100 cals in 5 minutes, so that's 20 cals a minute, that's about a 1,250 cal per hour pace, right? So that therefore puts me at 9.5. That doesn't include transitions. So you probably transition and probably take a break on the burpees. That might be 30 seconds, right, of transition and maybe a small break. That puts you at 10 minutes. That means you need to do 50 burpees in 3 minutes. So 50 burpees in 3 minutes essentially is like a little over 15, it's like 16 reps a minute. So when I'm warming up, as I'm warming up, that's what I'm kind of thinking about is like, okay, I'll get to my cal per hour pace, I'll test out that speed, and then I'll try to keep, I'm not gonna do 16 burpee box jump overs, so I test it, but I'll keep that cadence of what I should be keeping for that and see if it's possible. So kind of the concept behind it. That's the only way I've ever known to approach a workout. That way I kind of figure out if the goal I've set is too easy or too hard or just right. 12:57. The first bike was like 4:20, and then I got done with the burpees at 8:15. I took 2 breaks, and they were too long. So I knew if I wanted to go sub 13, I was gonna have to bike at a 4:45, like total time. So that puts me at like 13, high 13s, low 14s. Problem was, the first like 15 cows, I was braking out like a 900 cal per hour pace. But we did it. Never doing that again. If you're gonna give that workout a go, which I highly suggest you do, when you do it, make sure to tag me so I can repost it, because we should name it. That one sucks though. So goal times for you guys doing this if you go at home. Right, so 100 calories or 80 calories, I would say it shouldn't take you longer than 6 minutes for the first set. So if you're like, oh, this is gonna take me over 6 minutes, which is totally fine, then I'd say scale the calories down to like 80 for men and 60 for women. And then for the burpees, which is the biggest punch in the gut, right? For the burpees, I don't want them to also take probably longer than like 6 to 7 minutes. If the box is too high, I would just change it, right? So if 24 is too tall for you, go at 20. If 20 is too tall for you, go to 16. Doesn't matter. The hardest part of the box is you get off the bike and you think you're gonna clip it every single rep. So just make sure you stay safe there. And the final bike, whatever you started the first bike with, if you did 80 or you did 60 or whatever you did for the first cal count, do it for the second cal count, keep it the same. So anyways, goal times, if you can get around 15, 16 minutes, that's congratulations, you pat yourself on the back for that. All right, next one we're doing, like I mentioned, we're doing 15, 12, 9, 6. This is for time. We're doing sandbag cleans over a yoke and then running with a sandbag. So we're gonna start with the 15s. We got 15 sandbag cleans over a yoke at 150 pounds, and the yoke is set at 52 inches in height. If you don't have a yoke, if you're doing this at home, we wanna test it out, and you don't have a yoke, which many people don't, that's okay. One easy way of doing that is you take a barbell and you put it in your rack up against the J-clips like you're gonna squat, put the bar at 52 inches and then get like a red small band essentially and band it around the bar or around the rig essentially so the bar doesn't move in the J-clip. That's also a really, really easy way if you don't have a yoke. So we're gonna be doing 15 cleans over the yoke, then we're gonna run with a sandbag for 200 meters. I've got a 75-pound kind of longer handle sandbag if you want to look at it over here. So you can grab the handles pretty easily. And then come back, we'll do 12 at a 200, run with the sandbag again, 9 at a 200, run with the sandbag again, and then finally 6 at a 250, and then run with the sandbag, and then we're done. I have not done this before. I have no idea on time. It's gonna be kind of a shot in the dark. Sandbag cleans are kind of hard to guesstimate for times a little bit, considering the different weights, but that's it. Let's get warmed up. 10 seconds. hurt. That's all I got. All right, you finished up. Quick thoughts. If I programmed it for people, which I will, I think the 12 at like the moderate weight was a little too much, I think. So to clarify, I did 15 at a 150, then 12 at a 200, then 9 at a 200, then 6 at a 250. I think the 12 at 200 was too much. I had to break like a couple times. So if I was gonna program it for people, or if you try it at home, I would suggest 15 and 12 at a 150, or if you're a female, at 100, and then 9 at a 200, or a 150 or a 125 if you're a female, and then 6 at the heavy sandbag. Now again, like light, moderate, and heavy is dependent upon you. So, you know, a heavy sandbag might be 100 pounds. That's totally fine. So then my suggestion is do the 15 and 12 at a 50-pound sandbag, 9 at a 175, and then 6 at a 100. That's fine. So CrossFit, scalable for everybody. Got done working out, and now we've got a little bit of a break, and we've got ourselves this wonderful dirt pile in front of this house and also behind the house that we need to essentially turn into lawn, because what I've learned is, I love Winston, right? He's super cool, but when it rains, as soon as it rains, this 6-inch little wiener dog is gonna drag his belly on every mud pit on this property, and then he's gonna drag it into my house, because essentially my front and backyard is a huge mud pit. So this needs to get changed. So we're out here laying grass seed for next year. All right, we're at the range. We did some fitness earlier. That was kind of applicable to the sport that I currently compete in, and that is the tactical games. Took a bit of a break. Now we're back in the range, and now we're gonna do some training as it specifically relates to the sport with the firearm now. So we're gonna start off with some basic drills. The first, actually, one basic drill. We're gonna start with doubles, right? So when I say doubles, we're gonna be shooting 2 rounds on target. Variable distance, we're gonna start from about 5, 10, whatever, and we're gonna work back to 25 or 30 yards. Shooting doubles isn't like super applicable to about 85% of the stages that we shoot and compete when we do tactical games, since that sport tends to be more bullseye shooting. But when we run USPSA or 2-gun style matches, it's still important to be able to have good grip, good sight alignment, and be able to shoot 2 rounds on target as if you were competing in a USPSA match, because some of the stages we do are action style stages, so it's still an important skill. So we're gonna do some doubles. We're then gonna work into a drill called turn and burn, and that is from Extremist Performance. You heard me talk about that earlier this morning. It's a drill that we've run, we've kind of made up, and so we'll talk about that when we do that drill. We're gonna run that. That involves shooting quite a bit of rounds and then turning, opening up and sprinting, and then shooting more on a longer target. And then we're gonna get into more, what I would call more tactical game style stages. We're gonna be doing a pistol only and a dumbbell kind of farmer carry box step over workout. And then we're gonna go into a long range rifle plus paper. And then we're gonna finally finish up with some long range rifle on steel. Let's get it. All right, so we did some warm-up basic kind of double drills, which are hugely important. And now we're gonna actually do some movement and a longer string of fire. So this is the turn and burn drill from Extremist Performance. And so how this is gonna be set up is we have 2 paper targets. They're 10 yards apart. We're gonna shoot from 2 different locations, and you're gonna need 1 magazine of 10 total rounds. So on the call of go, you're gonna start at a cone 5 yards behind the first target, target 1, right? On the call of go, or your shot timer, more than likely, sorry, the CrossFitter's coming out on me. You're going to draw your pistol, and while retreating or while backpedaling, you're gonna shoot 5 shots on target 1. So, beep, you're gonna draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After your 5th shot, you're now going to open up. So if you wanna turn around, you're now gonna open up and you're gonna run back around these 2 blue barrels back here. And these 2 blue barrels are 25 yards from target 2. So, count, you know, the shot timer, you're gonna draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finger off trigger, you're gonna open up, you're gonna sprint around the barrels and then shoot 5 more shots on a 25-yard target, and that'll be the drill. 872. 872, we've got one Charlie. On the 25-yard target, I'm negative taping as a heads up. And all alpha here. So, one Charlie, 872. All right, so we're doing kind of a very basic tactical game style stage. What this is gonna look like is on the call of go, 3, 2, 1, beep, is we're gonna be doing 5 rounds for time of 10 double dumbbell box step overs at 70 pounds in each hand, and then 8 pistol shots at 15 yards on like a 2.5-inch circle. So how the sport works, essentially, a really basic concept, is you're gonna take your time to finish. So say it takes me 10 minutes to finish this workout. So it takes me 10 minutes, and then when I'm done and the range is cold and my pistol's cold and it's safe to go down range, we'll go check my target, and any miss outside of the 2.5-inch circles, and I think I'm shooting a total of 40 rounds, any miss outside is a 10-second penalty to your raw time. So your total time would be your raw time, 10 minutes, plus any of your penalties. So if I miss 5 shots, my now total time to finish is 10 minutes and 50 seconds. So that's the workout today. We're gonna get started. 3, 2, 1.
Let out the beast. 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 I don't mind.
6:06. So that's our raw time. Let's go look at our target. We dropped 1, 2, 3. Dropped 3 total, so final time is 6:36. When we shoot these targets for tactical games, if the gas ring of the round touches the shape, then it counts. So that one technically counts, but again, 1, 2, 3 drops. Not too shabby. My arms hurt now. All right, we are gonna do this workout. The kind of the goal for this is it's 8 minutes, and I mean, you could hammer the bike, right? You could hammer the bike for 14 cals to get off, but the problem is you're shooting a pretty small target at 290 or 320 yards, 290 meters, 320 yards. And so you're gonna see me kind of pace the bike. I'll probably sit at like 14 cals per hour pace, 1400 cals per hour, which is a pretty good, good heart rate for me to shoot this distance. So I'll bike 14 cals, get off, I'll take a couple of deep breaths, and then I'll try to shoot 3 rounds pretty quickly. You might see me pause in between shots because maybe my reticle isn't steady or I have a bad position or whatever. And you're probably gonna see me take a little bit of time getting to a stable position to make sure that when I take those shots, I'm from a good stable position, because a lot of people just rush it, and that's usually when they miss. So anyways, goal, like I mentioned, is 8 rounds, and we'd like to shoot, we're shooting 24 total rounds, more than likely we'd like to shoot at least hit 20 shots as a goal. You know, even going at like a zone 2 pace or a slower pace still stinks, because you gotta kind of like slow your breath and hold your breath, and you don't really get the rest when you shoot. So anyways, 8 rounds total. Let's go check our target. All right, now the target, we're gonna check our target now. So again, remember our goal is shooting 20 out of 24. 8 rounds, 3 rounds each for 8 rounds. We got ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So just shy by 1 shot of our goal of 20, but I shot pretty high, I'm not gonna lie. Meaning I put a high goal, not that I shot high. None of my shots are high, they're actually to the left. So here's 4 of them here, and then I think one of these is probably one of them also. So there are some, there are my misses, so. Overall, that's kind of how I run a tactical games sort of focused training session, right? So we started with some basic just firearm drills because I need, I've only been shooting for a couple years now, so I need to just do firearm practice and not mix them because it's the only way for me to get better at something, right? So, or better at firearms. So do some firearm basic stuff, and then we go into some tactical game styles. We did some pistol, box step over, did some rifle long range. We're gonna go and take a little bit of a break. We'll probably shoot some long range rifle tonight if we find time in between feedings. So, good, fun training for tactical games. All right, last thing of the day pretty much. We're closing out the day with some long range shooting. So on steel, we're gonna be shooting at 260 yards, 300 yards, 370 yards, and then 400 yards. Some of you might be thinking, hey, it's really weird that Jacob got into shooting, right? Like into firearms. And it's actually, to be quite honest, it's kind of similar to CrossFit to a degree. And I guess you could say it's like most sports, right? But when you started CrossFit, right, you weren't good at pretty much anything. And you had to work on everything. And you were always striving for perfection in whether it be a snatch or a muscle up or handstand walk or whatever, but you probably were never able to obtain it, right? You could always snatch more, you could always do more muscle ups, could always go a little bit faster on a workout, whatever the case may be. Same thing for shooting. That's what I've kind of found is I'm not great at it, but I'm getting better. And it's almost like another goal of like, hey, I'm trying to obtain, I say perfection in a sense, but you try to obtain perfection even though it's not obtainable, but you try to get better at a skill, and it's a skill that is, cool to have, useful, and I enjoy it. So anyways, we like to finish out the night with long range. That is something I'm really, really bad at. Surprisingly, I mean, I don't really know why, but it's something I'm not great at. So what I'm usually gonna do is I'll set up a ladder. Here, I'll show you. I set up a ladder in the back of my truck, right? So here's my truck, I put a ladder on it. I'm not standing on the ladder. And I'll essentially shoot from the ladder all the way down to where we kind of saw earlier where I was shooting paper. We're gonna be shooting that steel. So from here, that very back berm is at 400 yards. That's today's chosen distance. So I'll shoot that sequence of steel at 260, steel at 305, steel at 370, and steel at 400. And they're all differing size targets. The first one's gonna be like a 33% IPSC. The second one's gonna be an A zone, third one's gonna be an A zone, and the final one's a 12-inch circle. So essentially I'll be using the shot timer, timing myself, shooting one on each, and then resetting and doing that as many times as I need to until I run out of ammo pretty much. So anyways, nice way to end the day. Let's get it. All right, so my shooting lane that I'm using is essentially on the side of the barn. Gonna go through those blue cones, or the blue barrels, and you can see all the targets way down there. All right, last drill of the night. I usually grab the last box of ammo that I brought out here. Got 20 rounds left. I'll pick a target, and then I'm just gonna load up all 20 rounds, and I'm gonna shoot one shot on the timer every time. So beep, get situated, find a stable position, one shot on target. And then if I hit it, great, get off, reset, start again. If I don't hit it, take a follow-up shot. So just doing one shot, get into a position, just trying to work in getting a stable position and getting that first shot off on target and feeling really comfortable. Miss. 471. Well, that is the end of the day. It is 7 o'clock. I need to get back to the house. It's gonna get dark pretty soon anyways. And help with feeding Andy and Burke, get them ready for bed, get myself ready for bed, and then go to bed. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We're gonna be dropping 1 or more of these per week. Let me know what you guys wanna see. I do know for a fact that the next video we're probably gonna do after this one is we're gonna talk about the barn. We haven't actually ever really discussed, you know, what's in it, what's my favorite thing, what's the stupidest decision I made for that barn, how much the barn cost, what's the dimensions, whole 9 yards. We're gonna cover the barn gym and all the associated things with it. So probably the next video we do, we're gonna keep doing these vlogs as we keep going, but please, I read the comments, put them down below. What do you guys wanna see? We'll also do a house walkthrough when the house is kind of finished. There's a couple of small pieces still need to be finished. But other than that, have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys later. See ya.